Good afternoon and welcome to our monthly MassTLC benefits overview call. My name is Ruth Morris. I'm the Director of Member Relations here at MassTLC, and my job is to help you all get more engaged and more involved with us and really taking advantage of your membership. I'm just going to spend about 15 or so minutes giving you an overview of MassTLC, how we're organized, and quick overview of your benefits. You can submit questions via the app here, and I will be happy to answer questions as we go along or at the end. Also, feel free to reach out to me at any point after the fact if you have specific things that you'd like to discuss or just need a refresher on things. My email is ruth@masstlc.org. MassTLC is a trade association focused on supporting and promoting the tech industry in the region. We have approximately 450 corporate members, and all our members are companies, even if they're sole proprietors or companies with tens of thousands of employees worldwide. We don't do individual memberships. We are focused on the organization and all the individuals within it. The lion's share of our members are tech companies, which is not surprising. But we also have members that are heavy users of technology and often innovators themselves, such as companies in the healthcare, financial services, energy space. They're also big employers of tech talent as well. And that final category of members are what we call our affiliate members. And those are the service companies that really support the tech ecosystem, everything from venture capitalists to staffing firms to PR agencies that specialize in tech clients. But as I said before, our overarching goal is really to try and support and promote the tech industry in Massachusetts. And we don't focus on any particular segment within the tech industry. It's the whole industry. Because we're so broad and with a fairly large membership base, we have some natural communities of interest that form. Some of those are around application areas or technologies. So the categories that you see listed on the left-hand side of the screen, cloud, mobile, big data, robotics, focus on those segments. And the participants in those communities range from the technical side of the house to the business side of the house, really depending upon what the content of any particular initiative is. The yellow categories that you see in the middle are kind of an intersection of other application areas. So security, we have that category in part because there are so many security companies around here, but also because it's an overarching concern of all our members. There's not one single company we have that is not worried about security, whether it's cyber attacks or even physical security. IoT is an intersection of a number of different technologies, industries. And in fact, we have a conference coming up on June 8th that is co-located with LiveWorks. So I'll provide some more information on that later. Then healthcare. When we say healthcare, we mean healthcare tech, really focused on the intersection of the healthcare industry and technology and how technology is changing both the business side and also the care delivery side in that space. Finally, the categories you see on the right, talent development, sales and marketing, software development, are really job function related. So software development has a number of smaller groups associated with it, peer groups. So we have CTO, VP of Engineering peer group, DevOps, UX UI, which we just launched. We just had our first meeting. It was fantastically successful. There's been a lot of demand for that. And we hope in the next month or two to launch a product management group. Similarly, in sales and marketing, there's a CMO, VP of Marketing group, and demand gen. Those subcategories are limited by either job title or job function. They really are meant to be peer groups, an opportunity for people in the same role or the same area within a company to come together and talk about problems that are specific to them. Those groups tend to meet every couple of months, and they're very informal. They tend really just to be conversations amongst the attendees. You'll notice security also has a peer group, CSO, or Chief Information Security Officer. The way these communities work is we have somebody at MassTLC who manages each one of them. but they rely on an advisory board comprised of members to really help us figure out what topics are of interest or really need some help in figuring out. So we look to our members to tell us about trends that they're seeing, issues they're facing, topics that they really want to work collaboratively on. So if there is a community that's of particular importance to you, please let me know, and I will connect you with the appropriate manager on our side, and maybe we can get somebody plugged into the advisory board. I really recommend to all our members you pick the 1 or 2 communities that are most important to you and get somebody very actively involved. It helps ensure that we're covering content that you are interested in. It's also a way for us to get to know our members more, and when it's time to look for a speaker, I mean, we do 60 or 70 events a year. We always look to our members first for speaking roles. We don't know everybody within our membership, so if you know of great speakers in a particular area, the advisory board is a way for your voice to be heard. And our program managers are fantastic about jumping on the phone and connecting with people and giving a quick update on their plans for the year. So don't be shy. If you have a particular interest, just get in touch with me and I will make the connection. This is just an example of our cluster leadership. As I said, we rely on an advisory board of our members to really help guide us. Every cluster has 2 to 4 co-chairs who really help us in kind of leading the community. So if you're on the advisory board, it's maybe an hour to a quarter really of your time. The groups might get together or they might do a phone call. It's not a heavy lift, but as I said, it's a good way to get plugged in. The co-chairs obviously do much more work than that, but still we're respectful of the fact that everyone has a day job and probably higher priority things to work on any given day. So we really try and keep the time commitments low and really just try and rely on the thought leadership to help guide us. We have a number of events that we do that are not community specific. They are broad-based. They are meant to really celebrate the local tech community and are intended for everyone. We just had NewCo Boston. It was the first time we ever did it. It's sort of almost a roving dinner, I like to think of it as. We had 80 companies who opened their doors for an hour-long session. Many of them had their founders or their CEOs participating, and attendees got to create their own agenda for the day and go from company to company and really get in front of local leaders and some luminaries and really learn about their founding stories or their business, the marketplace. They got to do a number of hands-on, very exciting demos. So something to think about for next year. It was very successful. We'll definitely be doing it again. And as I said, we had about 80 companies. We had to turn away a number because we just couldn't support them all. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, let me know if you didn't get to participate, and I can give you an update on that. We just launched our awards nomination period. Every year we do the MassTLC Leadership Awards. They're really meant to recognize innovative leaders, either technologies, companies, or individuals. We have a number of categories across those 3 broader categories. Our nominations period theoretically closes May 20th. I suspect we'll extend it for a week. It does not cost anything to nominate. You can nominate yourselves, your partners, your customers, anybody you've come across that you think is really a worthy candidate. We try and keep the nomination form very straightforward and simple. It's not onerous. I would just say, take care if you are nominating and just try and do a complete job because in some cases that's all the judges have to go on. But this is a fantastic program. There's a lot of visibility. It's a 6-month program, so we do the nominations now. They close in May. We do a judging night in June. In July, we do a summer reception where we announce the finalists. It's a fantastic networking event. We get several hundred of leaders from our companies and all the nominees to come out. And then in September, we announced the winners at a gala that's usually about 700 people. Usually that's kind of the max capacity of the venue. But it's a great event. And as I said, it's great visibility. Even if you don't end up winning, there's a lot of visibility along the way and a lot of places to plug in. And I would also say if you're nominating somebody outside your organization, they receive a notification that they've been nominated and by whom. So again, if you have clients or customers or partners that you wanted to nominate, they will see that you did it. After awards, after the nomination period, the next big thing was Boston Tech Jam. This is our fourth year, I believe, doing it. It's on City Hall Plaza. Last year, we had about 4,000 attendees. We're aiming for 6 this year, which I think we will easily get. It's actually even a bigger and longer event this year because we're having a headliner band after the Tech Jam event itself in the evening, so from 8 to 10, also on City Hall Plaza. It's only $15 to attend, and a portion of those proceeds go to support STEM education initiatives here in the region. It's a great way to get some visibility, even if you're not an exhibitor. Send your team, send them in company t-shirts, have them make the rounds. It's a lot of fun. It's also a great team building event. So if you just want a fun day out of the office with your team, send them. It's not a typical sort of conference where people have collateral that they're handing out their tents. Everyone's doing something very fun and interactive, and it really is it's a great celebration of the region. And then finally in November, we're going to do Transform. And this is a new event for us. It's replacing our past Innovation on Conference. You'll be seeing more details over the coming months, but this is really meant to be sort of a multi-event lead up to the November event. So you'll see some smaller workshops coming along, but it's intended to look at some of the big trends that are happening in the region that are impacting the whole region, but particularly the tech community, and that offer a great opportunity for the tech community. So things like urbanization and automation, issues around talent. And the goal is to really come out with some actionable recommendations that we as a community, and maybe in conjunction with government organizations, can really make some progress on. So keep your eyes out for more information on that. And then, we're not a research house, but we do some research in areas that make sense for us. So, for example, we're in the middle of working on an Internet of Things report, and you'll see that coming out later this year. We're actually just about to release our annual State of the Tech Economy report. So in the past, we've really tried to put some metrics around how important that segment is to the Massachusetts economy. This year, we're looking much more at impact. The numbers don't change much from year to year. So now we're looking at the so what. What does it mean? What do we need to do to keep growing? How do we handle talent issues? What are some of the sectors that are most important, and what do we see coming down the pike that are maybe in their infancy now, but will be very important sectors, in the coming years. So those are sort of the high-level things. In terms of the smaller events, the roundtables that you see here in seminars, summits, and conferences, those all come out of our communities that I referenced before. The roundtables, as the name implies, member-only roundtables are just for members. They usually get 25 to 50 or so people. Those are free to all employees of our member companies, as are seminars. Right? Those tend to be slightly bigger events, usually 75 to 125 people with maybe a panel and a moderator. Those, again, are free to all employees of our member companies. Conferences, which tend to be half-day to three-quarter-day events. And this year, we already did a sales and marketing conference. We're doing IoT on June 8th. We are doing a security conference at the end of August and software development on October 6th. Those, depending on your level of membership, are either free or heavily discounted for members. And I can give you specific details if you want to reach out after the fact. Those events tend to draw a couple of hundred people. They're a couple of different tracks, usually with multiple sessions. We may actually do a healthcare tech conference at the end of the year, but that is still TBD. I did want to call out Women's Initiative. We, from time to time, do specific programs that try and support organizations that either have women's initiatives, want to try them, or want to just do something to support the women in their organization. Part of what we are doing this year is we are working with Innovation Women, which is a speakers bureau founded by Bobby Carlton of Innovation Nights. This is to address the issue and something that MassTLC occasionally is guilty of too, of having panels that are not really gender balanced at all. And so Bobby has started this Women's Speakers Bureau. It's normally $100 to create a speaker's profile. MassTLC is subsidizing that this year for its members. So again, if you have some great women in your organization, they don't have to be executives. It's women at all stages of their career and in all different job functions and all different job levels. And it's been very interesting, sort of the diversity of speakers who have been found through this bureau. So if you have some great women in your organization, reach out to me and I'll provide you with information on how to create a profile. If you are looking for speakers, it is free to join this bureau as an event coordinator, as an event organizer, and you can search for speakers, as I said, for free through that. We've also worked with Startup Institute for Business Bootcamp for Women, and if that comes around again, we'll hopefully work on them and getting a discount for our members. We work with our Ed Foundation, which you may not be aware, MassTLC has an Ed Foundation, sort of a nonprofit within our nonprofit. They are focused on STEM education, particularly in the K through 12 space, trying to address the workforce of tomorrow issues. And one of the things they do every year is a Technovation regional competition, which is a coding and business competition for girls. We actually just had the showcase last week. It was phenomenal. 37 teams, I think, participated from middle and high schools around the region. Massachusetts always does quite well. Last year, Massachusetts teams placed second and third in the global competition. So that's a great program. If you're interested in participating as a mentor or just learning more about it, let me know and I'll be happy to connect you with our Ed Foundation. They also do not just specific to girls, but in December and the fall do the Hour of Code as part of CS Ed Week. And we're always looking for participants from industry to go into the schools and run the Hour of Code. You don't have to be a programmer. There's a lot of training that goes into it. It's very easy. But again, reach out if you're interested in participating in that. This is a high-level overview of your benefits. Hopefully you've all received a summary of your member benefits. If you haven't, let me know and I'll send them out to you. But as I said, you get free admission to all our roundtables and seminars for all the employees of your company. For our larger events, you either receive free or discounted tickets depending on your membership level. You can participate in our cluster advisory boards and you can sponsor events. Those are member-only benefits. We always look to our members first for speaking ops. And as I said, we do 60 to 70 events a year. We're always actually looking for speakers and also people to host events. So if you have a great space that you want to show off, let us know. We'd be happy to host an event there. Some of the other things that you can do, and this is for all members, it's free. You can post jobs on our website. We have a searchable jobs database. We have a LinkedIn group, so you can post content and jobs there. If you're holding an event, whether it's a job fair, user event, whatever it is, you can post that in our community calendar. You can also post content. If you have something big happening, you have a press release, send it our way. To be honest, I think that the more impactful content are the thought leadership pieces. So every one of our communities has its own page on our website. And we post member content there. It doesn't have to be original. It can be something off your own blog, but it does have to be a thought leadership piece. It can't be company or product specific. It has to be of general interest. And our marketing manager is very good about highlighting some of those pieces in our weekly newsletter that goes out to about 17,000 people, and also highlighting it in our LinkedIn group. Your events also, if you post events in our community calendar, they make it into our weekly newsletter as well. And again, it goes out to about 17,000 members and non-members. In terms of research, we make all of our research available for free to everyone. Actually, it's not just for members. And you can access that via our website in the resources part of the tab. And just some dates that are coming up. Our calendar changes all the time with the number of events we do. We don't post them until they're pretty far along and we have a location and a time. So this is by no means a complete calendar. This is just what we have up at the moment. Take note that on the 26th, we're having our CTO peer group. This is for CTOs, VPs of engineering. If you're interested in learning more about that and you want to get your CTO plugged in, let me know and I'll connect you with Mike Johnson, who runs that group. That's been a fabulously successful group. People really like connecting with their peers and talking about issues that are specifically important to them. The IoT conference on June 8th, this is co-located with LiveWorks, which is run by PTC and is converting more into an industry event as opposed to a company event. We have some special arrangements with them, so if anyone's interested in attending our conference and also attending some portion of LiveWorks, let me know and I can give you a code. And again, don't forget Tech Jam. And then some of the other events that are coming later in the year, and you'll see more information about the Security and Software Development Conference. So that's it in terms of the presentation. If anybody wants to shoot me a question via the app, let me know. And as I said, you can also reach out after the fact and ask me any specific questions that you have. So I have a question. Can you describe beer and bots? This is an event that our robotics cluster runs. I don't know if you know Joyce Sidopoulos, who's a fabulous leader of that community. The last couple of robotics cluster meetings that she's had, they've also had sort of a social afterwards, usually at a brewery. And it's just a nice way to relax and connect personally after the meeting. So if you want to learn more about it, let me know and I'll connect you with Joyce. But it's a lot of fun. So I encourage you to participate. Any other questions? All right, well, if there are no other questions, I'm going to sign off. And as I said, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email is ruth@masstlc.org. And I look forward to seeing you all in future events. Take care.